Today's video is going to be a painful one. I'm going to be recapping my worst bad beats of the 2022-2023 NFL season. Pretty much if these bad beats had gone the other way, I would have been up around $12K, but instead I lost around $90. And some of them aren't necessarily bad beats where it's just near misses, but some of them are definitely bad beats. Comment your worst losses below here. I want to see some of your worst losses. Give me the odds, give me what you bet to what it would have paid out, and then each leg of the bet. So number 3 on my bad beats here for the NFL season. This isn't an NFL bet. I had to throw it in though. This is a UFC bet. Two-parter here. So part 1, parlay here, $10 to pay out $1,000, and then the last leg, Charles Oliveira to win against Islam Makhachev. Doesn't cash. That's part 1. Oh, so painful. Part 2, $20 parlay to pay out $900. Beneil Dariush cashes. Bilal Muhammad cashes. Sean O'Malley cashes. Charles Oliveira doesn't cash. So combined here, $30 to pay out $2,000 essentially. And what makes this one so painful is I'd been saying for months to some of my friends, because the Oliveira Makhachev fight was scheduled quite some time in advance, and I was saying to everyone, I was like, oh, Oliveira's getting disrespected here. He's a plus 160 underdog against Islam. He finished Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje combined in other 20 minutes of octagon time. And here he is, underdog against Islam. So I was telling all my friends, yeah, load up on Oliveira. He's got this. He's got that dog in him. He's going to win this one for sure. And, yeah, obviously, the fight happened the way it did, and he kind of got dominated, but it is what it is. What makes this one extra painful is, Bilal Muhammad put a beat down on Sean Brady, got a stoppage in the second round. Standing stoppage. Beneil Dariush, he gets a unanimous decision against Gamrot. Great fight. And then Sean O'Malley, he was a big underdog. I think he was plus 350 at one point. I got him at like plus 220 for this parlay. And he fights Jan, arguably the fight of the year, certainly a candidate for fight of the year. And split decision. It's a tough decision. O'Malley hit him with that vicious knee in the third round that kind of cracked him open. I think it was the third round. It might have been the second. But either way, amazing fight. Hit that. All this build-up, I've been thinking for months, Oliveira's got this, and then he loses. And I did hedge a little bit on this one, so I ended up getting back some of my money, but not nearly enough. So we move on to the number 2 bad beat of the year. This one is a true, legitimate stinger. It makes me mad just thinking about it. But I also can't help laughing because it's just so ridiculous how you lose on some of these bets. So the bet slip here is Packers-Eagles. The bet slip is Green Bay Packers plus 10.5. Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown scorer. A.J. Brown, anytime touchdown scorer. Aaron Jones, over 19.5 receiving yards. Christian Watson, over 34.5 receiving yards. Allen Lazard, anytime touchdown scorer. Now this one, I got a parlay boost on DraftKings. I bet more than I should have on it. I bet $40 to win $2,200. When I was placing the bet, I asked my friend, I said, hey, I'm thinking of putting either Christian Watson or Randall Cobb as an anytime touchdown scorer to finish out this parlay. What do you think between those two? And he goes, Joe, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I'd probably put in Allen Lazard. He's kind of due for one. And I went against my better judgment. This was after Christian Watson had scored 2 touchdowns the week prior and 3 the week before that when he was going on his tear. And I said, all right, I'll put in Lazard. They were all around the same odds. I think Cobb had the best odds. But Lazard and Watson were still both around like plus 200 or whatever, 150. They were both within the same range of odds. So all the other legs hit. Packers cover 10.5. Aaron Jones, A.J. Brown both score. Jones gets the receiving yards. Watson gets the receiving yards. Christian Watson and Randall Cobb both scored touchdowns throughout the game. which is so painful in its own right. And then to finish it off, Rodgers gets hurt towards the end of the game. Jordan Love comes in. The Packers still have a chance to tie up the game. Fourth quarter, there's about a minute, 45 seconds left. Love takes the snap, rolls back into the right, out of the pocket. Allen Lazard he beats Darius Slay on his matchup. He's open for a touchdown. He's like 10 yards out, but there's nobody around him. And Love throws it past Lazard to a covered Christian Watson in the end zone. The pass gets broken up by the defender. Watson can't catch it. But it was just so painful because, Lazard was there for the touchdown, so it still had a chance to cash. But the worst part about that one is just, asking for advice and getting the wrong advice and then still going with it. Ultimately, it falls back on me, but, oh, man, I hate thinking about that one. $40 to pay out $2,200. The number one bad beat of the 2022-2023 NFL season for me here. Another two-touchdown score parlay. This one was in December. I had Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns. Jerick McKinnon, 2 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel, 2 touchdowns. So, to set the stage here, Miles Sanders, the Eagles are playing the 1 o'clock game. I believe they're playing the Giants. Either way, Miles Sanders gets a 3-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Third quarter, Jalen Hurts runs another 10-yard touchdown. So, they're still getting running touchdowns here. The fourth quarter, Miles Sanders breaks a 40-yard touchdown run. So, Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns, hits. So, the afternoon slate, the Chiefs are playing the Broncos at 4 o'clock in 4 o'clock Eastern, and the Niners are playing the Bucks 4:25 Eastern. So, Jerick McKinnon, this was kind of when he started going on his touchdown run. The week before he had a touchdown, so I got him to score 2 touchdowns in this parlay at 28-1. Jerick McKinnon gets a 56-yard touchdown pass from Mahomes in the second quarter. And while this is going on, Deebo Samuel scores Deebo Samuel scores a touchdown in the first quarter against the Bucks. There's like 12 minutes left in the first. So I'm thinking, holy shit. McKinnon's got 1, Samuel's got 1. There's a lot of game left for both these players. And because the one game had started at 4 and the other was starting at 4:25, they were kind of, both these touchdowns happen around the same time. So, Chiefs-Broncos game. So then McKinnon ends up scoring his second touchdown later in the second quarter. So I'm going, holy shit. This bet was $3 to pay out $6,700. I'm thinking, holy shit, this is the biggest if I win this will be the biggest win I've ever had as a sports bettor. And if you recall the Niners-Bucks game, this was when the Bucks got absolutely blown out. Like, the Bucks were just playing terrible. I think Tom Brady had a couple interceptions, and the Niners were just rolling. So going back to the Niners game, I need Deebo to score 1 more, and I'm golden. So I believe this is in the second quarter. The Niners are driving. They just get over midfield, and Deebo gets a play called for him. He runs, 6-7 yards, and ends up getting his ankle rolled up on. It was so bad he got carted off the field. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, like what are the chances I'm finally I'm in this opportunity to get the bet of a lifetime, and I don't even have a chance because Deebo, he gets hurt, and obviously I'm glad that he ended up being all right. He ended up playing later in the season. It was just a high ankle sprain. But in the moment I was just like, oh my God, like what? It's just one of those things where it's like you finally have a bet and the player gets hurt. And to make matters worse, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, ended up getting 2 touchdowns that game. And his odds were slightly less than Debo's, but even if I had CMC instead of Debo, I still probably would have cashed for about $4,000 or $5,000 off a $3 bet. But yeah, that was by far the worst loss I've suffered as a sports bettor. Just terrible luck. But yeah, those are the top 3 worst losses / bad beats of the 2022-2023 NFL season. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope it was entertaining. We'll catch you on the next one.